All right. Go to my question sheet over here. Yeah, things used to be a lot easier before I broke my hand. Then it was a little bit more complicated to do everything.
I imagine.
I've been taking notes with this too.
It's interesting because I learned by writing things down.
Yeah, me too.
There's some people who learn. There's apparently I talked to some brain experts one time, and they said, "Oh yeah, there's a pathway for people who learn by writing it down rather than through their ears."
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I learned about that.
Despite, I don't have to go back necessarily, but
Yeah, I'm the
writing
same
down
way.
makes
Like
sense.
while I'm taking notes, if I like focus on what I'm writing, I learn a lot better than
Yeah.
if I'm just listening to what the teacher's
Yeah.
saying.
right.
And then I don't really have to review my notes and like study for tests if I take good notes while she's talking. Yeah. All right. So first question I kind of have is, what do you think is the most pertinent problem facing the environment today? If you had to kind of pick one to kind of narrow it down, if not, I don't really mind.
Well, okay. So let me digress since we have.
Oh
some
yeah, no
time.
problem. We got a long time.
So there is this notion of global change,
Yeah.
which is also referred to sort of as sustainability, and then has multiple parts.
Mhm.
Global change and sustainability are terms most people don't understand,
Mhm.
and so sometimes the focus comes down to climate change,
Yeah.
and so that's an indicator of a real problem that's out there.
Mhm.
But and it's probably the most urgent to get started on doing something about. But there are a host of other problems.
Yeah.
There's I mean, scientists have created something, an interesting graphic. I don't know if I have one, but it talks about Earth boundaries, and it looks at a dozen or so different issues about what the Earth's capacity is. So we're exceeding the one with respect to climate, and so we're changing fast. But there are one or two others we're changing. We're causing ocean acidification by CO2.
Yeah, that's in my paper right
There's
now.
nitrogen. There's concern about the nitrogen budget, which is sort of affecting how things grow and stuff like that. But so there's a range of them, and so this global change issue, the fact that there's so many humans changing the globe, is an important issue. But it's manifest at the local level differently. When we did a national assessment for the U.S. in the late 1990s, and we had 20 regions around the country.
Yeah.
And we asked them that very question in each region to identify the top few issues to work on. And the one that was common across all of them was water, or water issues. And so you can understand how water might be an issue in the Rio Grande Basin where it's very dry.
Yeah.
But it was also an issue in Alaska. You say, what's the temperature? I mean, because the temperature of the water gets warmer, the fish get diseased.
Yeah, and the pH goes up.
The migrating species go across it on ice. The indigenous people use it as highways. It's a problem in the Northwest, even though you have rain changing between snow and rain and other things. So it is a problem everywhere in the country. It was interesting. So it's hard to sort of say, which one, depending on whether you're talking to a particular individual or what the country has to do with what the world faces. But there's a whole range of issues we better pay attention to that are environmental issues.
Yeah.
So climate change is getting the most press right now, but there are a lot of other ones that aren't, but merit press. And I mean, I think the issue that globally that people are concerned about impacts of climate change is what happens with agriculture. Because there's only like 6 countries in the world that export something like 90% of the world's grain crops, the wheat, the corn, and all that stuff, that is imported by another 100 countries. And if you have a climatic problem in one of those areas,
It's going to take out a lot of the food supply.
you can have a lot of effects. So in the 1970s, the wheat crop in the Soviet Union was down, I don't know, half or something.
Yeah.
And a third or a half. That raised food prices all around the world.
Yeah.
We've had problems in the Ukraine not too long ago, and there's some business guys I work with, and what they follow is an index of the the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, which is the cost of these grain crops. And every time it bumps over a certain level, they start seeing civil disturbance.
Yeah.
The Arab Spring started in Tunisia with over food prices.
Yeah.
Syria started in part over food prices because of the drought and stuff.
Really?
And so there's concern. And so if you look at these